Hello, besties! Welcome to MarTEAnis with Eddie, your ultimate destination for everything Bravo. Join me as we spill the tea, dissect the drama, and uncork the juiciest gossip from your favorite reality TV shows. Um, I was telling you guys last week that I've been so busy with life that it's been hard to like make more than one episode a week. I'm trying to manage, life, Bravo, and work and all this stuff. But life sometimes plays the weirdest games. Over the weekend, I got COVID. So I had time to be home, catch up with all the Bravo shows, and, keep an eye on what's happening in social media. Um, Also, I realized that I'm trying to take the positive out of every situation. BravoCon is exactly 2 weeks from tonight. Actually, by the time if we move forward to these 2 weeks, at this moment, we will be maybe enjoying the Bravos, which is what it was the Legends Ball last year, like the big, big opening party. So I'm thinking at least I got COVID before BravoCon and not the day of or the day before because I would have set the whole entire city of New York on fire for giving me COVID. Um, Also, I feel like my waist is snatched after like not eating for 5 days. Don't try it at home. But yeah, I'm excited to BravoCon. That my mind is on BravoCon mode, and the best way to enjoy that is with friends, with your besties. For that reason, I invited tonight my bestie, Caitlin from Besties by Bravo. Hello.
Hi, bestie. I am
Hi.
so glad to be here. And listen, I love that you're taking the positive from this. I'm so sorry you got COVID, but listen, at least you can party it up without even worrying about it while you're there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be maskless, I guess.
I'm
I mean
just
that's what they say. Like if you get it like 2 weeks before or something, you are pretty much immune to everything else. So I'm
yeah.
gonna take the positive over the negative because then I'm gonna cry.
I mean, honestly, I was just telling you how I am. I need to knock on some wood. I'm not gonna do that for sound, but just gonna silently do that for myself. I'm a pandemic unicorn, and so I've been always up to date on my vaccines, and I was planning to get my vaccine with it like 2 weeks before. Y'all don't judge me because I am very much a vaxer. I had to choose between Botox and the vaccine, and you know, I, I chose Botox.
I
So,
mean, I'm
mhm,
not judging. I mean, I know that you have to make choices, priorities, and
sacrifice.
it's sacred. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, gotta do it. Gotta do what you gotta do, honey. We gotta look good at BravoCon. You got your
Oh my
waist
gosh.
snatched by getting COVID, all of it.
By
Do you
COVID.
respect it? Forget Weight Watchers. No, okay. But
Oh my
like he said,
gosh.
don't try that at home.
No, you don't want it, trust me. But at least
Mm-mm.
I mean you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at like stuff that cause you anxiety because like when I first got like the positive taste or whatever test or whatever, I took one at home, right? Because I
Right.
started to feel off. And I was like, I need to know because I'm one of those people that like I need to know what's happening
Yeah.
in my body. So I decided to take one at home and I was really depressed. I was like, oh my gosh. I only had it once and it was in 2022. It was like right way after the pandemic. And it was very mild and I was hoping that was gonna be mild, but no, this time around was quite not so
Sure.
mild. But it went away quick. I mean, at this point,
Good.
is I'm on my fifth isolation day and with no symptoms. Obviously, it's stuffy in my nose because
Mm.
is what happened. It's also the allergy season. Like I'm really bad with the allergies. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm back to normal world tomorrow. Obviously, I'm gonna be careful and wear a mask for like a couple days just to be sure. But I mean, as now, I'm just fine.
Good.
Which, by the way, gave me time to watch so many shows that I always watch them regardless. But like with life and work and stuff, it was hard to like stay
Mm,
up tweeting about it all the time, or doing all the social media work. So
yeah.
it gave me time to take my time and enjoy the shows and be
Good.
able to sit here tonight with you so we can talk about all the drama because oh my gosh, what a week.
Oh my gosh, yes. There were some fun dramatic moments, and then there were some really tough ones.
Yes.
And that's, I guess, call it just really tough is putting it very lightly. It was a mixed week. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that you, the new RHONY specifically has really given us a lighter it's lighter drama, which sometimes, just like how Orange County for a while up until the DUI situation, it was really like that thing. Um
My
it
gosh.
was light drama, and I think we Bravo fans love that too. We don't need the super heavy stuff all the time. We like the light drama. So I was glad to see some of that, with RHONY as well. But yeah, we'll get to that.
I honestly agree with you when it comes to the heavy drama. I mean, we've been nonstop dealing with heavy drama for the past few seasons on every single Bravo show. There
Mhm.
hasn't been one Bravo show in maybe like a year where there is something heavy. Either is heavily, racist behavior, or
Yeah.
there is some, people stealing money from the elderly, or
Oh
we
my
have
god.
somebody going to jail for it, and then we have somebody that's still fighting over earrings or whatever, so over victims and orphans. So it's been quite the crazy year plus
Mm.
in Bravo shows, right?
Mhm.
So going from that to people fighting over cheese and caviar over chips, I'll take it any day of the
Yes.
week.
Same. Same. I think it's fantastic, and I love how RHONY we this new RHONY, I know we all were kind of like, we love our originals, but I think all of us were planning to give it a chance. I don't think any of us were poo-pooing it beforehand. It was hard not to because OG RHONY is like it,
It's
you know?
part of Bravo history.
It is. I mean, I say it now, I just forgot which season number it was, but the season when those women went to Mexico was probably the best, like my favorite season because it was fun and it was drama. And we did get a lot of that with this new I we're not no, that's Ronnie Legacy is OGs going on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I don't like crossover. But it was really, I don't know. It was just great to see how the dynamic changed between where I truly thought that Cy and Aaron were going to be our top dogs. Like Aaron, she was supposed to be the force multiplier. She connected everybody. That was really what it felt like. They really
Yeah,
focused on her. But I mean, Uba and Jessel and
Jessel.
Bryn, oh my God. Like they're amazing. And
I
Jenna,
just
but I
want to,
don't think Jenna's coming back.
yeah, I just want to read this real quick. I don't want to miss this message from
Mm.
Erin. She said, Salt Lake City has been fun and yes, drama, but fun it to watch. Doesn't make us angry this season to watch. It's true. Like half of the time we were
Yeah.
like just hate watching the shows at this point, because
Mhm.
the topic were so heavy. And to the point that you were saying right now, it when it came down to Ronnie, the change of who we thought was going to be the rising star of the show was mind blowing. Because
Yeah.
if you told me when I watched the first two episodes that Jessel was going to be the unifier of the Bravo fandom, I would be like, that is insane. Because one thing that I have noticed that we can all agree is that Jessel was like the star of the show. Yeah, I love Jenna Lyons because Jenna Lyons is a fashion icon, and I know her the longest out of all the cast members. I know who she is. I know where she came from. I know her story. I know, how important and iconic she is for the fashion industry. I knew that. So I felt like she was going to be somebody that people were going to recognize and be excited to meet. But Jessel, the
Oh,
person who was complaining about the air conditioning on the first episode, and then also like also complaining about like the underwear garment the Jenna Lyons gave her a day in the Hamptons. Like if you told me that she was going to be the star, I would have laughed.
listen, her wedding was in Vogue. I didn't know that, but
Yes.
they covered her wedding in Vogue and her Rolling Stones feature. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Girl got 3 different looks and she looked, oh my God, so fire. I mean, oh, she's kind of like, I don't know. She reminds me of a Dorit and Elisa Barlow combined a little bit. Um,
Yes.
and then just her own flavor thrown in there. And it
Yeah.
was just, oh, she was good. And I loved how she really found that voice of hers at the end. And listen, if it took Bryn kind of coaxing her, that's fine. I'm glad it paid off. It fully did.
And I remember when people started to notice Jessel in like in this great fan way, like in the way the fans like love a housewife. I read a tweet that got stuck in my head because it made sense when I read it. This person, I forgot the account, and I apologize if for not having it. But this person tweeted saying, "Jessel is Ramona without the racism," and I like, oh my gosh, it is true. Because if you remove all those like really ugly aspect of Ramona and you keep the fun, the the unexpected, the kind of like out of touch, sometimes like a little aloof of her surroundings, that's what Jessom is right now. And in a
Mhm.
more, and I appreciate her more because it seems like um I always root for the underdog. And when I
Oh,
see that
yeah.
the underdog is like actually succeeding, to me that's freaking amazing. So when I saw her um like having all these like great moments, like that Rolling Stone cover that we just got released recently, I'm like, I mean, this is amazing. Amazing. Especially for Ronnie,
Yeah.
that a lot of people were doubting from the beginning to have this kind of impact on like pop culture. I think is amazing.
Agreed. Agreed. And if I'm not mistaken, she is our first Indian housewife, our first
Yes.
yeah, and so
Yes.
which, there's family karma, and so at first I was like, how can that be true? But it is, which
It
is
is.
wild to me. There it still shows there's a lot of growth that still has to
Oh,
come with Bravo, but I love it.
and like now you mentioned family karma, uh, this would have been the perfect opportunity to Bravo to give family karma another season. Like they
Mhm.
just, now they had Jessel as the first Indian housewife. It would be like so awesome to see her like also like be friend with the people from family karma, and like having like Bali crossover to New York because she travels a lot
Totally.
to New York City, and they are friends. I seen Bali and Jessa like in the same events, like posting photos together and stuff like that.
Mm.
Bravo has such a Bravo universe, very like
Mhm.
Marvel universe, where you can
Yeah.
like move pieces from one show to another one, and not having family karma right now to me is heartbreaking.
Yeah, that and Shaws of Sunset.
Yes.
I I still don't really get it. I don't get why we lost those shows. I really don't. I can't imagine that the ratings were low enough for us to have had to say bye-bye. It's not right. I think they all deserved another season easily. Would we be dying from all the content as content creators? Yes.
Yes. We'll be happy dying? Yes.
Yes,
We'll
exactly.
be happily dying.
Totally.
But there's a question from Aaron. I don't want to ignore, even though we are going to talk about what's coming in November.
Oh my god,
uh,
Eddie, what's happening in November? It's
I
my
don't
birthday.
know.
That's what you're most that's what Aaron
Yes.
is talking about. Oh my god, totally.
November is Caitlin's birthday month, so
Yeah,
we will
November
definitely
9th.
have a lot to talk about. But Aaron is asking, what are you both looking forward to most in November? should we answer in an unison?
I- d- uh,
Should we answer at the same time?
I have a feeling
Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna count to
sure.
three. If you will say it. 3, 2, 1.
Every
BravoCon.
yeah. Oh, I was like, oh, she's the blonde seeped into the roots there. Yes, BravoCon. Oh my God. Yeah, that too. I mean, it's not like we've been talking about it nonstop.
Non-stop.
BravoCon.
But
BravoCon.
yes, that's what we're looking forward to, and we will be talking about our plans for BravoCon on this episode. So you gotta stick around
Mm.
to listen all about it. Um, by the way, I am kind of like confused about Aaron's and Sai's obsession with Jessel's marriage. I want to know your opinion on that because it just seems weird.
I agree. I kind of feel like they didn't have enough of a storyline, and that's why they absolutely had to pick on Jessel. I think their whole thing was like Jessel. To me, it was very clear. Jessel was like, "Oh yeah, Pavitt's going to Vietnam in a couple of weeks." She didn't give them any specific date. It was absurd that they were hanging on to this little thread. They're just dying to poke holes in every story she has, and it's why do you not have any, like, Aaron? Okay, so you had your vow renewal. Okay, and then you had to use Bryn flirting with your husband at the vow renewal, which she literally does that in front of you. Now, would I have liked that? No, I probably would have been crazy, even if whether it's Bryn or not, and whether I get it or not. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get that Bryn's like just being herself, but girl, you are too hot and too like, oh my God, you can't just do that. It's like clearly Aaron was threatened. I would be
Yeah,
threatened. Doesn't matter how
I
much I love
agree.
someone, I'd be so threatened by someone that hot. Um, what else did Aaron have? Being a dickhead, taking, I'm sorry, I cussed. Being a jerk, taking Uba's phone. Did Uba slightly overreact to it? Yeah, slightly, but that's like, don't take anyone's phone. Oh my God.
Yeah,
What else did Aaron have going? Not much. Same with Sai. Sai just all she had was picking on other people a little bit.
agree. Yeah, I posted something a couple of days, and I didn't expect people to get like really upset about it. I had never defended Sai ever about her behavior on the show, because it doesn't make sense to me. Like
Mm-mm.
there are behavior they don't make sense, and hers is one of them. But I posted that the only reason why I appreciate Sai on this show is because she is a fashion girl. And I'm like, and people were like, no, no, no. Like, maybe because I live in New York City, I appreciate her sense of fashion, which is urban. It's very urban. She uses brands, but she makes it with like, the baggy jeans and the oversized coats and all this stuff. That it's a very New York thing to do because
Right.
a lot of people are saying she's not Erica Jane and she is not Doreen. I'm like, yeah, they are from Beverly Hills. The
Totally
fashion
different.
sense in Beverly Hills is 100% different. And Erica Jane wear costumes. She doesn't wear fashion, she wear costumes. And
Mm.
costumes is not the same as costume.
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, the difference between Beverly Hills, they are all about labels and showing the labels. New York fashion is like old money fashion. It's subtle and they're not, I mean, except for when who was it Jessel wearing two different brands? Was that her?
Yes.
That Jenna was like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Um, Typically it's not like that type of thing. It's like, I mean, the quality of that button-down shirt, you can just tell is a little different. So yeah, it's YSL. While they're wearing Levi's. And they're not wearing the Gucci belts all the time everywhere. Um, like there might be a Chanel brooch, but they're wearing it with the denim. That's like, I think Erin's sense of style is actually really fantastic. She's like an
Yes.
elevated version of Jennifer Aniston aside from how she looks. I
Yeah.
know she looks a lot like her, but her style reminds me of her quite a bit, but she elevates it a little bit more. Um, because Jennifer has great style, but she's not a fashion girl, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, I can appreciate that. I didn't feel like Sai had that many looks though for being our fashion girl. I was expecting more.
Uh-huh.
Um, I just was. I think it either needed to be very subtle or she needed to like lean into it a
Amp it
little
up.
more. Hmm.
I think she will lean more into it because she realized that maybe the audience didn't get the vibe that she was expecting to get from the fans, because she's like lashing out on social media and like like posting little things and whatever. And when you get to that point, like like fans know that they are bothered, like
Yeah.
the housewives are bothered,
And
so
it's understandable when they get bothered. Okay. Like, I don't want to completely discount, to be honest, which listen, I have no problem throwing tomatoes, but
tomato
sometimes,
tomato.
yeah, right. Like, sometimes it can be a little bit much and then it overwhelms them. And I think it's a little confusing because Sai knows how to dress for camera because she's an influencer, but she didn't dress for camera. I have a feeling that her looks looked better in person. And
Yes.
there's a huge difference the way things translate when you're in front of the mirror versus the actual lens. It just looks different. So,
Yeah. I do go to her Instagram a lot because I'm a huge fan of like fashion people. Like
mhm,
I love looking through their like very extremely curated
mhm.
Instagrams. I mean, there's not one flaw picture on it. Everything is flawless. It's like to the T, like the outfits and everything. So I'm hoping that maybe Sai didn't want to just be the fashion girl.
Oh,
Maybe because like sometimes like if that's what you do for your job, you don't want people to think that you're just a one trick pony.
fair.
But I mean, if she brings the fashion that she has on her Instagram to like the show, like forget it. Like
Yeah, because I've
amazing.
seen her Instagram too, and I obviously I follow her. Excuse me, and I've been like kind of going, okay, while like the vacation looks and stuff like that, I kind of wanted to see it more. Now I do have like empathy for someone who doesn't have a very particular style. Like Jenna Lyons has a brand and a style. I feel like Erin is kind of that way too, just like how I could describe her style in under one sentence. You can't do that with Sai. I identify with that because you'll see me sitting here in like a sweatshirt and then listen, I may have gotten a whole new wardrobe for November. Of course, having a baby made me do that too. But that being said, like sometimes I can also see, we're not expecting her to be the fashionista at home when she's with her kids, so there is that element of realness that we need from her. But it's I don't know. I think Sai needs to take a few notes from the audience, which we don't normally want them to do that too much because we still want them to be their authentic self. That's why they
Yes.
got cast. Um, but take some notes on just focusing on certain things more rather than Jessel.
Agree. Also, I mean, it seems like based on the trailer that we got from not the trailer, I mean, from the clips from the reunion, it seems like they have some dynamic changes already.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That new clip, the
Oof,
rage text from Uba,
oof.
girl. Listen, I love Uba. I
Me
could
too.
stare at her all day long. Oh my god.
Oh, beautiful, gorgeous women.
I like of course she and Chanel are related. I mean, Uba's skin is like glass. I just don't how does that happen?
And
She's
she is
stunning.
tall. When I say tall, it's like miles and miles tall. I'm
She's
like
just
so jealous.
long. Oh, I know. Like honestly, can you imagine like being Uba walking around in this world? It would just anyway, I can't get over how stunning she is. Like every time she is on that screen, I swear I listen, I am into men. 1000%. But it's like Uba, I'm just like, I drool. She's
Mesmerized.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, she's just stunning. There's no word that is good enough.
That's why I'm so excited to meet all these ladies during BravoCon.
They're going to be prettier in person too. Everyone is.
I mean, because they were out and about last year, but this time they do have like the spotlight on them. Like it's their
Yeah.
first season. It will be right after the reunion because the reunion ends the following Sunday, which is the
Mhm.
Sunday before BravoCon. So they pretty much will be like the first time in this massive event after the whole first season is wrapped, right? So it's gonna be a very interesting experience to see how they react to fans, how fans react to them, how we can catch the vibes to like kind of see and bring all the tea about what might be happening for next season. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Talking about interesting dynamics and changes in crazy. Let's talk about Salt Lake City real quick because Salt Lake City has shocked the Bravo universe with one of their best seasons.
It we and listen, this is what I'm hoping will also happen for Beverly Hills, that we don't need Lisa Rinna, we don't need Jen Shaw to have a good season.
Agreed.
It's not necessary to have someone be that much of a jerk. It's good for someone to be a pot stirrer. Don't get me wrong. We don't want to get rid
But
of those people.
yeah, but there's difference between being a pot stir and being toxic. And I
Yeah,
feel
there you
like
go.
that's what they were. Because now that Jen Shah is out of the picture, the show is thriving.
So good. Monica is, I mean, she is like third season housewife good. I am, girl, like, I don't know why, and this might sound crazy. There are so many moments where I feel like I can relate to her, and then there are so many moments where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you are out of your mind," and that is exactly what I want in a housewife. She's doing she's doing the relatability on money and things like that, her financial situation in a way that someone like Gina Kirschenheiter should have taken notes on. Like, I don't need to see Gina wearing a Versace swimsuit that I'm like stressing out that Casita Gina is wearing Versace. She can't go sell a Versace swimsuit on Poshmark and get her money back. Like, you needed to buy go to Nordstrom, go get like a normal Beach Riot swimsuit. Those are still nice and expensive. And then buy a Versace bag that you can resell. Oh my God. Like, the ridiculousness of keeping that appearance up. And Monica, I love that she was like, Zara, Zara, Zara. Girl, Zara's great. I love Zara. I live for Zara. Fantastic. You were stressed out about buying yourself a Louis bag. Great. You still could buy it. That's what I loved. Still, she was still able to buy it. She may have hit the credit card pretty hard, but hey, that's the way it goes. But yeah, I'm love and her storyline, her whole backstory. Oh my God.
I
Couldn't get
mean,
better.
Monica to me is a whiplash. To be honest, like I'm like I'm invested, but then I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I just heard? What did I just saw? Like wait a minute, what? Like when she was talking about her dad, that she was telling like her dad walk away and all the stuff, and suddenly at the end she just like dropped like a little like bomb, like oh he left for another man, he's gay. I'm like what? Huh? That
Excuse me.
what? Like what happened here? Same thing happened on this last episode where she's like telling a story and suddenly it's like crazy at the end. So I have a I'm like in the middle with Monica. I'm not like 100% on her side, but let me be clear. I do believe that she is part of this awesome like renaissance of Salt Lake City, right?
Mhm.
Uh, there's people who obviously don't like her. There's people who already are like she needs to be out of the show. I'm not going
Mm-mm.
to do that because we need everything on a show to work, right? Um,
Mhm.
I I actually had some little conversations with her before the show started, and even now. Uh, I'm not gonna release any details of our conversation because I don't think that's nobody's business. But at the same time, I'm going to say I can see how, even though I do not appreciate much of some of her reactions on the show, at the same time I can separate the person from the show and understand that there's a lot of editing pieces, a lot of stuff that we as viewers don't get to see. And yeah, I think that, and I always said to her like, I'm a Lisa Barlow fan, so that's
Oh
that's
yeah.
the beginning.
I am a
the begin
Barlow hoe. I
the
love Lisa Barlow. Okay.
That's the alpha and the omega. That's the beginning and the end. But for not just because I'm a Barlow fan, I'm not gonna give her the chance to like, hey, tell me your story, right? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna just hate watch you and like push you out of the show. I like you're not Lisa Rena to me.
Right. I that's the thing is like I was saying how Monica, the relatability, even when she got into it with her mom, and this is where I it's all the women out there who have a mother they grew up with and had a close relationship with. Um, that dynamic, it's like you either knew exactly how everyone felt and sorry, I just saw the question. And kind of understand that you either had that type of dynamic with your mom where you were so much alike that you could just like tear each other to pieces, or you had that completely different dynamic. And I understood so much of it, but I think it was the way like Monica could have told her mom to get the F out of her face without actually saying get the F out of my face. Because listen, LD, you don't hold a snowflake. You didn't need to go interrupt Angie and Monica's conversation. You want that paycheck? You want homegirl to get that paycheck? Then guess what? You need to sit there and watch her. If she needs to make a fool of herself for just a second, let her do it.
Yeah.
Now there was other stuff we found out later might have happened.
Well, Aaron just sent a question, and then Caitlin just answered a big part of it. She asked, "What do you think of Monica and her mom? Who was wrong, or who was just not being able to understand each other?" I, I'm gonna tell my side of the story when it
Mm,
comes to this. Uh, I I think Monica and her mom have a very toxic relationship? Yes. It's very obvious that they have long lasting uh, traumas from childhood, a lot of struggles, and I think on that level I can relate. I didn't have a toxic mother, but I did have a very I would say religious upbringing that when I first came out was not very well received within my family, including my mother.
mm,
So I can understand how some topics can be triggering for families, right? Obviously, over
mm,
time and stuff, that was solved and we are all fine. But it was a struggle. So the
mhm,
struggle, the trauma, the pain, the wishing your mom reacted in a different way. I understand all those points. My problem comes with the fact that both can be true. Did uh, did Monica and her mom have a toxic relationship where maybe Monica's mom has caused a lot of pain on Monica? Yes, I believe it because you can see it. But did
mhm,
Monica went a little too extreme on that conversation with her mother on TV in somebody else's home? Yes, because if you watch the scene, all after Monica got a little too heated with NGK, which obviously for us viewer is entertaining because we watch the housewife for that reason.
mm,
Um, Maybe Monica's mom. wanted her daughter to behave differently in somebody else's home. I don't think Monica's mom was trying to not um, let her defend herself. Maybe she just didn't want her to defend herself in that way at that moment. That's what she
Hmm.
kept telling her. Let's go to the bathroom. Kind of like, calm down. Let's go to the bathroom. You're screaming in a Greek Easter religious event, whatever. So I can see that, right? I can see how both statements that are rolling around in the internet are true. Some people are saying that Monica reacted it too heavily on her mom. Yes. Some people are saying that Monica had the right to react that way because they have a trauma. Yes. Do I think there also a side where her mom was a little right for asking her to behave differently when she's already like to 100? Yes.
Hmm.
So so to me that scene can be taken from so many different points of view
Yeah.
that it also I think comes down to how viewers translate that into their own personal experiences because
Right.
a lot of people on my Twitter post where I said that that Monica might be a little too reactive, not towards the mom, but in the environment that she was in. People were saying, "Oh, you don't understand what is having a toxic parent, or you don't understand what is having a mom that tell you they hate you." And I'm like, my mom never told me that she hated me, but my mom always told me like, "Are you sure you're gay? Is this not a phase?" Like, so those little, those little things are almost like you hate me. I mean, even if
It would, yeah.
even if she didn't tell me that, it
She
can
wasn't
translate
accepting you.
to me exactly.
Yes. Then,
So
yeah, I'm sorry.
so yeah, that's that. When I saw that scene, I'm like, I understand Monica, but I also understand LD because if I was with my mother in that environment, I know my mom will have my back, but she will
Yeah.
also be like, you know what? let's let's
Let's,
you are in somebody else's home. Let's go to the side, cool down a little
hmm,
bit. Tell that person you talk to them in a different
hmm,
place. Is their home. So at the end of the day, you are just a guest. Even if you are right, even if you are right in the conversation, you are in somebody else's home.
right. I think she was the first time I watched it, I was like when she was speaking Portuguese to her, I was kind of, like, well, because when Angie first said, as they were sitting there, well, the only other language I speak is Greek. And so I thought for a second Angie might have been like slightly offended when it was just the three of them. But really I felt at the end of it that that was her way of whispering to Monica. I don't think LD whispers things very often. The only other thing that, to the point of LD's behavior, there were two things that really, well, okay, I'm going to have to say three that really stood out to me was one when Whitney is saying when Monica had already left and Whitney says, "Where's Monica? Should I go talk to her?" And LD says to her, "No, no, 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 no. She has to cool down. She needs her space." Well, she knows that about her daughter, and yet she wouldn't
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
saying, "Come with me to the bathroom. Just shut up. She's already walked away from you. She's walked away from the situation and from you. You need to leave her alone for a minute. Leave her
yes,
alone." You know that. That's the thing is she knows that. And so she continued to push her buttons. And to me, that was her trying to assert an authority over Monica when it doesn't exist anymore. And she said
yes,
in that last episode, "I'm your mother, I'm not your friend." Well, Linda LD, I'm not sure what she wants to go by. It's too late for that. You two are more like sisters than you are like mother and daughter. And that's a dynamic that tends to change with mother and daughter as you grow older. And it's
yes,
hard for mother to deal with daughter suddenly become, especially when they're a mother themselves. Now it's mother to mother and it's totally different.
yes,
And the other thing was when she starts laughing at her, whether Monica fell down the stairs before that moment or she did not. It's worse if she had just fallen down the stairs because Monica, if you notice, she did kind of have her legs propped up, which I'm sorry, I may be jumping ahead on. I I am having a very hard time calling X X. I have to call it
Twitter.
Twitter. I don't know what else to call. I can't. Because the tweets that happened. But if you're laughing in her face about that, then that's so not okay. And then it was the other moment. Fine, if she felt the need to go apologize to Angie and Sean, I actually understood that for a moment. But then she kept apologizing. And then it was can we have fun now? Girl, go worry about your daughter. Your daughter should be more important than having fun.
There's a question from Tate the
Yes.
Savior. Now that we're talking about X and Twitter, he said, "Have you read Twitter X about the allegations that Monica allegedly threw a shoe and almost hit Angie's niece and Lisa's son?" What do you think about that one?
Well, both Angie and Lisa said that that's what happened. Um, just like you were saying how two things can be true at the same time, I think that it's possible that maybe Angie tossed her shoe. Angie, I'm sorry, that Monica tossed her shoe and it looked like she straight up threw her shoe, and that it also could have almost hit the niece and Lisa's son. It the context is so difficult. I think it's one of those things, everybody's telling the truth. I mean, how is Monica gonna full on lie when there was an entire production crew?
Production. Yeah.
So many people that could be like, you're lying. So her reality might be different than Angie and Lisa's. And that's what's hard when they don't show everything. It seems like there was a big gap
Oh
in
yeah.
things that happened.
That brunch, that Greek Easter brunch, was heavily edited. That you can tell that even when they're
Mhm.
trying to pretend that it's happening in that moment, like the
Yeah.
cut, the beats and stuff, you can tell that it was not necessarily matching what was really happening around it. So I'm
Lisa and
like,
Heather weren't
huh,
talking at the same time as Angie and Monica.
yeah.
No way.
So my take on that I'm also going to agree with you, Caitlin. It can be the case that both things are true,
Mhm.
and I am going to wait um, until the reunion because I'm 100% sure that we will be getting the answer for it there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, Monica and Angie has been going head to head on Twitter. That's like one after the other one and one after the other one, and another thing that I want to say about Twitter is like it's hard to take sides when the housewives are so invested on the drama on Twitter because I become just an spectator,
Hmm.
and as an spectator, I'm enjoying both sides.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like a tennis match. You're back and forth. And that's fine. I mean, it makes me feel like Paige at that dinner on Southern Charm that was last week. I mean, listen, I love it when they give us some insight, but this just added more confusion, to
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah,
I
it
don't think
did.
I needed that much context either. Don't because Monica did start it by saying, "Well, I fell down your railing and I should sue for your house not being up to code." Like, oh my god, we all know she's not actually going to sue Angie for that. It was just like that's the way Monica is when I feel like when she's, going in. But like, I don't know. If you're going to add to the story, make it less confusing. Just like, but it's Monica's first season and technically Angie's first actual season. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean technically it's Angie's first time as a
Full time.
snowflake holder, so
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
um but I honestly, based on what I've seen on the internet, I'm looking forward to the reunion because I feel like every single skeleton the Salt Lake City has been trying to cover is just gonna be exposed at the reunion. I have a feeling it's gonna be so explosive.
I agree. And then they finally get to leave the country for
I
their
know.
trip. I bet they are so thrilled to not be going to
Oh
San
my
Diego.
gosh.
And now that
They
Jen's not
finally
there
get
anymore.
finally get to go to like a really nice paradise outside of the
Yes.
states for once.
And it looks like it
Like
gets good.
I
Woo!
know. Oh my gosh,
Woo!
that
Woo!
that 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 mid-season trailer, it's insane.
Listen, I am just dying to know what leads up to Lisa saying to Angie, basically, she thinks they're in the Greek mafia. I have to know because every time I see that ad, I fall out of my chair. I think it is so hysterical. I can't take it. Like, I love Lisa so much.
I mean, Lisa Barlow, it's like honestly so funny. And the best part is, I don't think she's trying to be funny.
She's not.
I mean, she just say what is in her mind, and it just comes out like
Like at the
I
candle
love it.
shop when
I,
she's like, I hear people like to pour hot wax on each other like it's their kink. It's not
but I'm
mine,
not.
but it's because I think she can't stand like silence, you know, like that's why she has those long phone conversations. So she says whatever comes to her.
I love it. I
I
love
do
Lisa
too.
Barlow.
I do too. Oh,
I mean,
anyone who
she
doesn't.
is like really like what you call it a top tier housewife. Like she's so
100%.
self invested in her own life. She's so I mean, the fact that she even talked about herself in third person sometimes. It's like to me, it's just like oh my gosh, I just want to be your best friend forever. Like I
Love
would
her.
love just to be like Lisa Barlow's assistant, just like walk around with her and just listen to her conversation. It's like comedy. I love it.
She's so funny. Oh, so glad she's on our TV.
I know. Yeah, we are so blessed that we are living at the same time as Lisa Barlow.
Our Sundance queen.
Sundance Queen. But you know who is also kind of changing her image like on me like suddenly is Meredith. Like I always had this weirdness with her. Like I
Mhm.
don't get it much. I don't get her as a housewife, but I appreciate her support for Brooks. I love how
Yeah.
supportive she is. So I can take that side of her and really like enjoy that, right? And I feel like this
Her
season,
mothering.
yeah, like her mother's side. It's like it's kind of like Kyle Richards a little bit, who I can stand as a housewife.
Yeah.
Can't. I don't like her. I mean, I like her. I mean, when you say I don't, when I say I don't like her, doesn't mean I don't like her as a person. I say I don't
Right.
like her as a housewife, right?
Yeah.
But
There's a
when,
separation.
yeah, but in the few first seasons when she was like really invested on being a mother, that to me was like the best part of Kyle Richards because you can tell that she
Yeah.
loved her daughters. It's
Mhm.
it's like Teresa Judice
I
too. Like there's stuff that you can. I mean, people might not like her, but even if you don't like her, you can't deny that she has done everything for her daughters.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You know, Kyle, I think now I am in the minority. I haven't ever really disliked Kyle. My only issue is that w- she hasn't really ever had a storyline of her own. And now when she does, it feels like she's mad at everyone about it. I don't know why I feel like that's just my own reality of it. I have no idea why I'm thinking that. But, you know, this whole thing, I'm sorry, but I find what she's doing if she doesn't want us to be curious about what's going on with her sexuality, it feels like queer baiting at a certain point. Like there is a certain point where you've gone too far. Now, the thing is Morgan Wade is not out. I have done as much Googling as I can, and I'm sure you have too. In fact, when you Google, it says Morgan Wade is in a relationship with a man. So
Hmm.
I don't know if that's because of the music genre she's in. I'm not sure. But at a certain point, why are you doing that? Like, if you want to poke fun and do the music video, you don't need to be having the scenes where you guys are actually going to kiss. To me, that is queer baiting. And now I am not someone a part of the LGBTQ community, so I don't want to overstep the bounds there. But I'm like, why are you getting so upset about it? And then you're like, oh, let's poke fun. And then you go a little too far, in my opinion, when you have a family and you're not wanting us to believe that you and Mauricio are actually separating. It's very confusing and it's kind of annoying at this point. I don't, it's starting to feel phony.
I have a feeling that it might be a little produced. There's talks on the streets now that are saying that the only reason why this whole like separation came to be was because Kyle was trying to find a way to kind of save her spot. Um, I don't know if she meant to like make it part of the Beverly Hills seasons because she saw how the scandal did for Vanderpump Rules. And a lot
Mhm.
of stuff can be calculated and a lot of stuff can be easily produced. And the timing of everything, I always felt like it was a little bit weird. And especially with Mauricio going to Dancing with the Star too and having the cameras on
Mhm.
his face and like, oh, I'm sad today because we finally announced our separation. I was like, did you? Are you really that sad? Hmm. So yeah, I do believe that there is a little bit of sketchiness behind this whole Kyle and Mauricio separation. Even if you remove Morgan of the equation, I still
Agreed.
think that there is something that is not adding up.
No, I so I discovered that someone I know actually grew up with the Richard sisters. Didn't know Kyle as well just because Kyle was younger. And my very first question was, so Kyle and Morgan, this person immediately was like, it's storyline, I think. Now, this person couldn't, it's not like she was on the phone. I tried to like hide gender and I can't stop saying she. So this person was like, it's not like they had Kyle on the phone the day before. So bear that
Yeah,
in mind. But uh, it's just a little too convenient the way the whole thing was released on a holiday weekend when they knew the way publications work. And then for y'all expect us to think People effed that up. People magazine effed that up and didn't like check their sources. Nah, honey. No, it's
yeah,
People magazine. It's not, well, I'm not gonna call out any of the rags, but I'm just saying, like, come on. It's not National Enquirer. Okay, we can at least say that one.
yeah.
Um, and that being said, I just kind of think it's pretty crappy to do it at the expense of your kids and having them crying on camera. Um, if you want to like make marriage troubles a storyline, which how many of our housewives have done? I mean, Dorit seems like she's going to be doing that this season with PK saying that some of her PTSD gets a little annoying, as we saw in the trailer, which I don't know. Maybe some of it is annoying. I don't know. To be honest, I don't want to like totally negate anything he's saying to her, but girl got robbed again.
Right? I read. I was like, what the hell is happening at Dorit's house?
Get a security system.
I know. Get a
ADT. Put the
get a
sign
bigger
in your yard.
dog. Get a bigger dog.
Get a German Shepherd. Get call up
What
Eddie.
is
He can tell you
happening?
some huskies. They're
I
loud.
know. Oh
Get a
my
pit
gosh.
bull. I don't know.
Like how many insurance freaking stuff are
Payouts.
they gonna
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
request for to pay their like stuff?
Well, the question. Okay, I'll tell you the answer is a question. How many times has PK been to the casino this year?
Oh my gosh.
We still love y'all.
Oh my gosh. No,
Don't be
I
mean when we see
I
you at BravoCon.
oh yeah, he's gonna be there. I'm pretty sure he will. I am excited for Beverly Hills like coming back. Even I always tell people, even if the season is not that great, it's always Beverly Hills, the one that like gets you excited to watch like every week. Like
Eddie,
even when
have
they're
you
having
traveled
this
there? I'm sorry to
Beverly
interrupt you.
Hills.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
I feel like you need to travel there more often.
I
Like,
do need to go there more often
mm-hmm.
because I definitely have like reasons to go, especially for Bravo stuff. I should have gone already before BravoCon. So,
Yeah.
but
I think that should be our next trip that we
trip,
take.
I
I
agree.
loved Charleston, but like, listen, I miss LA. I lived there for 10 years, just telling that for people who don't know, but man, like sometimes when I watch, I excuse me, I get like maybe I have a hard time watching sometimes because I kind of miss being there. Going from LA, Southern California to Denver, I didn't know I hated snow. Um, you and I've talked about this. I know you are a
Yes.
New Yorker, you are East Coast, but like I
Yes.
listen, Eddie, I could see you in the 90210 or 91607 would work for you too. Studio City. Oh, I could
Yes.
see you in Studio City.
Well, I can definitely see myself there. I love
Mhm.
California, and I think our next trip should be LA because obviously I want to go see some of the housewives that I'm good friend with from Beverly Hills, but the Vanderpump Rule people, you know,
Mhm.
may hopefully by that time, Ariana and Katie have their sandwich shop open. That even though
I
people
am
keep
dying to
making
go.
fun of it, like I'm
Why?
tired.
Yeah, I
I'm
hate
I'm
that.
gonna I want to say something, and I know some of my listeners might get a little offended,
Oh,
but stop saying why like they're not never gonna open the shop, they're never gonna do this, they're never gonna open doors, and they just released a video of them filming the intro for the next
yep.
season of Vanderpump Rules, and they were filming their segment inside something about her, and people were like, oh my gosh, it's not even open, and they pretend that it's open. I was like, did you guys not watch Source and Sandy having an opening intro last season? And they weren't even open yet.
Thank you. Thank you. Plus, they I 1000% believe they will be open by the time Vanderpump Rules season 11 is airing. And the issues have been with the permits in West Hollywood. Y'all, they're on Robertson. Those permits, you guys, like it is so not what you think. It's not like opening a sandwich shop in Dayton, Ohio. It is
Yeah.
like, oh my God, but can I tell you, I am dying to try that Greek sandwich. I I love Greek food so much. Like I could literally eat it every day of my life. I just like don't have the time to make it the way I used to, but like that Greek salad sandwich, oh my God. Like, and the bread, y'all, I haven't been eating carbs. It's that good ciabatta bread.
No, I'm
Uh,
telling you, it will be fun to go. Hopefully, as the season starts and it's on, they kind of open it or do like a soft opening or whatever. We might have to go for the.
Yeah. We should go before like we won't be able to go to the beach. You don't want to go in May. May and June is June gloom. This is for anyone wanting to travel there. Just so you know, it will be overcast for the most part. You want to be traveling. If you're going there, just expect to go to a pool and you're still going to get June gloom. It is cloudy and kind of cool all the way up until at least 1 p.m. But forget about the beach. The beach is cold as hell until like mid July at least. So, um, they're not airing in July anymore. So yeah, like if we're gonna go, we just need to go in like I don't know. We can still lay out at the pool in like April. It doesn't like ever rain there, so we're good.
My
Oh, I miss
if
that.
I see Ariana during BravoCon, one of my questions is going to be, can you just give me like a tentative date for you guys to open something about her because I want to be there for your opening day.
Yeah, we would
So,
totally be there,
oh,
and we could
totally.
see my friends Lauren Skay and John Joseph and Emily Hanks. We would just like have like a fun. Oh my god, that crew. We would have the most fun. That's all I want
Yeah,
to say right
I
now.
will definitely pull a pivot and just go to LA just to eat a sandwich. I will totally do it. So I know how pivot feels because I will do it too.
Listen, God, I have a tiny human I birthed that I can't just like leave like that. Otherwise, I would go to LA for that Greek salad sandwich. And then I know the good restaurants in LA, Granville, it is a lesser known one. Now, the Ivy, I know everyone makes fun about going to the Ivy because it's like, oh, everyone, like, that's, you just want to be seen. Yes. And the crab cakes and mimosas are fantastic at the Ivy. Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to say that. Granville, go to the Studio City location. I'm just giving you, don't go. I'm not going to say where not to go. I'm just going to say where to go. Go to the Studio City location, get their mac and cheese. When I tell you the mac and cheese with peas, I'm hungry, obviously. Chicken and asparagus in it. It's so delicious. Oh my God. And their taco trio. Do it. Just do it. Do it. Go there. Just saying. Anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that because I love to eat and everything sounds
Same.
delicious.
Oh my God.
By the
So
way,
good.
talking about food, um, talking about food.
Yeah, I know exactly. Your brain and I, we went the same direction. I know where you're going. I got you.
Where am I going?
Southern Charm.
Yes,
hmm
I was like, um, I don't know how people are gonna be like, how do you connect Southern Charm to food? Trust me, it is because all you do in Charleston is eat. That's
And the
all you do.
crab cakes part. Because,
Yes.
oh my gosh, y'all, when we went to Charleston and I was by myself the last day, like because my flight was leaving later, I had, now what do they call it? It basically was, I went and had a little brunch by myself on like a Monday. And it was like a burger, but it was a crab cake burger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I did not realize Charleston was such a seafood town until we went there. And now I notice it all the time on the show. The
Yep.
food there, that's Southern food, y'all. And the
It's the
oysters we had.
best.
Oh,
Oh,
woo,
woo.
yum,
We
yum.
ate so good that weekend.
So
Like,
good.
and thanks to Leva because she is amazing and I adore her. She
I
treated
love
us
her.
like celebrities.
She was
Like,
wonderful for us.
obsessed.
Yes.
Um, but on this episode though, um, we got some news. We got some news on this episode, and the first thing that I noticed though is like um, they were filming, and some of the castmates did not know what was truly happening. So watching the reactions live as they found out, Olivia's brother's passing, um, was to me was like, oh, goosebumps, like the way that the level look into the camera said like, can we stop filming? Can we like
Yeah.
cut it? And production just step in and said like, okay, let's just say goodbye and go, and we just can go. To me, that was like, I mean, it's like being there. It's like it was insane. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so hard. Olivia's brother was older than her, and I have an older brother. And it really was like, now my brother, he's like 10 years older than me, but her brother was not much older than her. And, when someone dies so young, people start speculating without any reason, right? And so I'm sure just even knowing that, like that would have been it, because if someone dies under the age of 50, that's or under the age of 40, I would say people speculate without any facts, any reasoning. And so I'm sure that on top of everything, um, because you can't imagine someone that young dying and like what could cause that. You had told you had mentioned today we were in a group chat.
Yeah.
It's a BravoCon group chat, and I appreciated when you told us that because we were all just kind of like, what happened? I mean, we've all known of like just something just happening. I mean, our bodies are not to be all morbid and creepy, but it's like it's one wrong tick away.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just I appreciated the way Leva and Vanita handled Olivia. I was really bothered that I understood that Taylor wanted to show up for her, but it was so selfish to show up because did you notice that Olivia had to put on a smile for her that was so not what she needed to do right then?
Hmm.
And it wasn't genuine and it was so uncomfortable. And it was just,
Yeah, I think maybe reading the room would have been better. Meaning like, that you want to be there for your friend. You know
yeah,
that you want to do that. You want to put aside all the negative experiences and whatever, but it's too fresh to do
give it a
that.
minute. Show up
Like
to the funeral.
send a text message, send some flowers, send a little video if you want to, like as a message, like, hey, just I'm here for you, whatever. Showing up to something where it was like safe space for Olivia, I think it was a little too much because, um, like you said, it felt a little self-serving, you know, and even Benita was trying to like make her understand, like that,
Trying.
she was like, hey, like, like we don't want to make it awkward. We want to make sure that she's fine or add more stress to it. And I can see that. Like, I can see how uncomfortable it can be when you have somebody that you were friend with, but still have a lot to talk about, that he puts a lot of stress on you, and then you add to it the fact that you are dealing with the loss of a family member,
A
right?
close family member too. Like, my
Exactly,
God.
like an immediate family member. So I feel the same way too. And
It
listen,
just was disappointing.
I really really like Taylor. I know Taylor's having a heavy, crazy, rough season, and it's gonna get rougher and rougher. It's just the beginning. Um, but there were so many bad choices done in the past few episodes that, like you kind of like just want to like hold and be like, Taylor, I like you. Please don't talk. Please
Yeah.
don't talk right now.
And please
You
don't let
know
men talk for you either.
exactly. Like I said last week when I was watching the previous episode, when she was saying that Austin gave her like a script to follow and he went off script. I'm like, oh, this sounds familiar. Who else did this? Oh my gosh.
And the guest room or the social media room or the office dipped out. How many more? You know, Taylor, she is easy to like. She is easy
Yeah.
to find darling and adorable, and she's easy to want to protect. What's difficult is when she will so puppy dog eyed, genuinely with tears pooling up in her eyes, seems so genuine. And she's lying through her teeth. And it's like, that's when I was like, girl, you know, it, for Austin,
I know. Out of all the people. uh, this is something that has been bothering me for decades. Not decades, for like years.
mhm,
Because every single time that Austin gets with a girl, all I ask myself is, what the hell they see on him? Because
he's
he
tall.
is, that's what I'm gonna say. His only quality that it can be slightly attractive is his height.
Mediocre white man who is tall. Listen, my friends, the taller they are, I'm so sorry to give you these statistics, but the taller they are, the more likely they are to die younger. That is a fact. Okay? Who gives a shit if a man is tall? I don't want to use them as a reference because they're going through a divorce, but Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas, that's a hot couple. She's taller than him. Give the short kings a chance. I know that phrase is tired. It sounds very millennial of me, but giving mediocre white men a chance because they are tall. Okay, fantastic. He can reach the top cabinet on top and he can reach the top of the fridge. Guess how else short people reach that is with a step ladder. And guess what? If he can afford to buy a step ladder and has one in his house, I guarantee you Austin doesn't have a step ladder in his house because he thinks he's tall enough to be able to reach everything, but he can't change a light bulb in a lofted ceiling, can he? So listen, I'm on a rant. Austin, like, he could be such a good person. You see it in him. And that's what these men like him and Shep, I'm like, "Grr." I just want to be like, get your oh,
I always
mediocre white men.
call I always call Austin Big Bird from Sesame Street, and yeah, that's how I call him. I always call him that because he literally looks like the Big Bird from Sesame Street, and
Eyes.
yeah, eyes and just this like tall and just like, yeah, in this like wandering eyes, like his face is
Mm-hmm.
always wondering something,
So eyes.
you know.
Like his
So
eyes are squeaking. Like
so
anyway.
ladies, to quote the Queen of Shades from Potomac, Candace. Uh, he's a Sesame Street character. And we don't believe in Sesame Street characters because they belong in Sesame Street. Next.
Thank you. Next.
Please, please. I honestly, I've been banging my head against the wall trying to understand how Sierra from Summer House, even Lindsay too, fell for him. Um, we have Madison, who's a living Barbie doll.
And
We have we have Olivia and Taylor. Like how? And then there is the infamous three-way video that Madison walked into him having two girls in the bedroom, and one of them was recording him, and this whole thing, Madison,
Madison, you're getting
like,
insane right now, Madison.
honestly, I don't understand the attraction. And the fact that women are out there fighting for Big Bird from Sesame Street.
And Shep, listen, Shep, buddy, you gotta lay off the booze a little bit. I am concerned. You should not be looking. You went through a breakup. I get it, and I don't like to talk about people's looks. Bear that in mind. And we've had this time where, like, I'm telling you, his eyes are looking yellow to me. I'm concerned. Um, it's one thing to, even if it's, I mean, I'm gonna be overly generous and say, even if you're like binging once a week, fine. That's even one thing. Even twice a week. I don't know, like you live for the weekends, okay. But it's this is what happens when mailbox money is so good and so easy that you don't have things to live for in that 9 to 5 window. Okay? I'm not speaking on the corporate I'm not preaching the corporate thing, but like I'm just saying like you need to have something more going on in your life. Join charitable organizations, do something because I always say doing like hardcore like actual with your hands charity work is more selfish and than it is even selfless because of how good you feel at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
But truly it's more like do that even, okay? Like I don't care if you go blast it on social media, you show everyone, as long as you're doing it and putting your money toward that, that's great. Do something for yourself. I think he needs something to focus on, and I'm sure that is what his parents have been saying for years. Shep just needs something to focus on. And that's all he needs. Shepard just needs something to focus on. And for a minute, it seemed like it was Taylor. And I can see how she was duped by him because the way he teared up when she
Yeah.
reunited with Craig, I was like, Shep, this is the Shep you give Taylor. That's why we've all been confused because we see the other Shep. You gave Taylor Shepard, and that's Shepard that was crying, not Shep.
Yes. Yeah, and like we see his like softer side even on this last episode when he was really freaked out over Craig, the dog.
Yeah.
Um, I cry because I'm a dog dad and I understand
Mhm.
what your dog being the center of your universe means. So
It's your baby.
I connected with him in that level, and I'm like, why don't you show this Shep more? Why don't you just show us this side of you instead of just like the typical frat boy that never grew out of the frat boy mentality that we had seen over and over and over again. And
He's that guy.
I always tell
Always
people
will
that
be.
the only time or the only few times that I have interacted with him, he's always been funny. And even the last BravoCon, I did not know who he was at one point because I was like five or six glasses of champagne and I was talking to Ariana. So it was just me and Ariana talking, and I asked her friend Logan to take a photo of us, and he took like five photos. He kept saying he kept like telling somebody to move, and then I looked back and he kept photobombing our picture, and he was all funny and he kind of like interact with both of us for 1 second and he walked away. So he always had shown this like very warm, welcoming, like
Southern
happy,
charm.
Yeah, so and like that's what people gravitate towards. Like
Mhm.
I do see a little more of charm on Shep than on Austin because Austin,
Yeah,
even in person, looks
totally.
annoying.
Does he? Oh, you know, and I'm sorry, this is so random, but I feel like Austin was that guy that showed up to high school every single day, either in basketball shorts, which I freaking hated that shit. Okay. Girls rarely showed up in their sweatpants. And if we were wearing them, they had to be like Abercrombie or Juicy. Clearly, I'm a millennial growing up in, it was early 2000s. And like what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He clearly always wore basketball shorts or else I know, like, I'm not expecting every man to be a fashionista, but my God, I guarantee he was wearing the American Eagle jeans and layering on two polos with like a sweatshirt, sweating through all of it, covered himself in fierce from Abercrombie, and was like, "Hey, I'm tall."
Oh my God, that
You know what I'm
reference was
saying?
iconic.
It's like it's you know what I'm
Because
talking about.
I lived this, so I know what you're talking about.
I refuse to believe you were the one wearing basketball shorts every single day, unless you were like,
No,
"Fuck these peasants."
no,
F
no,
these
no.
peasants. Excuse me.
I don't I don't remember wearing basketball shorts, but I do
I
remember
easily do.
wearing Abercrombie jeans with like three polos with
Oh
a
yeah,
pop color, and I grew up in Jersey, so spiked up hair was a thing, very spiked up, not just
your
like
ears are pierced. I
gel.
bet too.
Oh, they were diamonds.
Yep. Yep. Knew it.
I
I
had
knew it.
diamond studs, yeah, and
Uh huh. And the watch.
my mom hated the fact that I lost one of them because they were real diamonds and it was a gift from her.
Oh my God, Eddie! I would kill
Yeah,
you.
I know. But anyways, I was like, luckily, um, the other one still somewhere. She has it, and I told her that I wanted it so I can turn it into like a ring or something.
A ring or a necklace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I'm not reopening my ears. I think I lived that era really
You're
young
good.
and I'm good with what I have. No
Yeah.
earrings for me.
Listen. Wish I
Oh
could
my
say the
gosh.
same. My belly
Ah,
button
talk
piercing has gone, closed over. Thank God.
Oh my
Barely, because
gosh.
it wasn't cute while I was pregnant. Everyone told me that. Everyone told every girl who got their belly button pierced, when you get pregnant, which is so sexist because, of course, every woman's dying to get pregnant when whatever. But like, yeah, freaks me out. Anyway,
I mean, that would be something to do in Vegas if you really get really drunk.
no, no, no. If I do, I'll just like get another like piercing. I'll be like Lisa Barlow. I got my second piercing. I have a second hole, but like, I'll get my fourth hole. I'm so bad now. That'll be me. I don't have tattoos, so piercings it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, talking about Vegas, let's talk about it before we go. Um, how excited are you for this year's BravoCon? That is like across this, not across the like the block, like right here, like almost here, like 2 weeks away from us.
I'm gonna tell you, I literally have been saying this is like I'm getting married again, but I'm like getting married to Bravo. I I'm dieting. I am like a psychopath. I am working out my spray tan. I have my hair appointment. I have my nail appointment. I'm not getting professional makeup done because I'm just gonna do it myself. But like we know girls who are getting glam.
Oh
Like, I'm
yeah,
not a housewife. I'm not getting glam. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. No
our
one touches my
friends
face.
are our friends are actually getting a glam from our hotel in Vegas. It's like that
I
serious. We are going out with all like we are actually going to do IV drips in my
yeah,
suite because we
yeah.
need them. We need to make
You
appointment
and
for
I
that.
booked our hotels together.
Yes.
Thank God, Eddie, that you now I just want y'all to know Eddie knows literally everything to do for BravoCon. He was like, you need to book your hotel room in this district at the hotel. Thank God you did. Do you know I had to call because the Link Hotel. Oh shit! Sorry, shoot, sorry. Well,
Yeah.
that's where a lot of people are staying.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure people are gonna see us, so who cares?
Yeah, the district. You knew which district to have us book in
We
because
are gonna keep that as a secret.
the amenities that I was ready to drive out there instead of fly because some of the amenities that I thought were not going to be in the room are. You remember me talking about this a while ago. We booked our rooms in March, y'all.
Yes.
When did we find out where it was? April, at least.
Hmm.
And then we found out when the tickets were going on sale, maybe June. Um,
We
my
booked our
Saturday is when I'm
hotels in
anxious about.
March. Like
Mhm.
we booked our hotels in March
Yep.
before it was even officially announced
Yep.
because we are that crazy. And smart because we
That
booked our hotels before the prices went up because BravoCon was happening in Vegas.
listen, I am just eternally grateful. Eddie has kept us on top of it, and then like I will then keep my other friends on top of it. It's been a really good chain reaction. Um, Eddie and I on the day the tickets went on sale. I don't even. It was stressful.
Ooh, it was like the Hunger Games. It was so stressful.
I was on I had my phone and an iPad and a computer and I was almost in tears. I was like and then I just barely snuck in and got my 3-day VIP and then suddenly Eddie's calling me and I'm like he's calling to tell me he got his tickets and maybe I was just the only one who could, not get them in. And Eddie's like, "Caitlin, I don't know what to do." I'm like, and I'm refreshing, I'm like, have your credit card ready. I'll buy them for you if you give me your card. Like, Eddie had to buy my Bravopalooza ticket. He had to buy one of my Watch What Happens live tickets. And then I'm like, go get the iPad. So he goes and gets the iPad. And then he calls me and he's like, it was like 15 minutes later. He's like, I got it.
Yeah, because what happened was I know how to
Nightmare.
do this. I'm prepared.
Yes.
I had a VIP ticket on my card, uh, as like the first second they went on sale. But what happened was when I went to put my credit card information, it's usually in any place that you purchase anything, it's only the two numbers for the year. If whatever 24, 28, whatever.
Right.
That's what I usually put on. It's very rare for me to find a place that require the four number year, like
Mm-hmm.
2023, 2028. So what happened was when I'm trying to check out, I kept putting only the two number for the years, and every time that I processed my car, it was saying like decline, decline, decline. And I was like, why is
Maybe
my
that's
car
why.
being declined? And I freaked out.
Same
So
shit happened to me.
the timer went off and released that ticket, and I freaked out. So I went ahead and bought a general admission 3 days immediately because I noticed what I was doing wrong. So obviously being me that wants everything VIP, I couldn't just sit there and be happy with my general admission ticket. So
No.
I was freaking out, still trying to get it. And I called Kane, was like, I'm freaking out. I can't get a VIP ticket
I'm
at
like
this point.
mom. Listen, I have to tell you, I say that I am mother to a few gays, and you're my babies, and you are not. More than one of my gays called me on ticket sale days, going, "What do I do?" And you are not the only one of my children I helped. And so listen, my babies were gonna get some tickets, and my babies got some tickets. I'm just glad.
Yes. After, honestly, I got my VIP ticket for those who are listening, so you guys can see that being consistent sometimes does pay. I got my ticket almost at 1 p.m., 1:10 p.m. The ticket went on sale at noon. So I was
Exactly.
consistent, persistent. I was crying. I was like, refresh, refresh. Then
I
my
wasn't gonna call you out for
husband,
that.
yeah, I was like on tears,
Yeah,
almost like Nini says. I was
Caitlin,
in tears.
what do I do? And I'm like, Just okay, I'm gonna refresh. It was kept declining my own credit card. I had put all of my cash money onto my credit card to make sure I had so much more than what I needed. And so I
Yeah.
couldn't use my bank card because I piled it
And
onto my
I
phone.
remember that I bought your Bravo Palooza that day too, wasn't it?
Yep.
Because I snatched it right away.
Thank God.
And then my husband, he grabbed the iPad, and as I'm trying to get it on the computer, he snatched the VIP ticket. And
Mhm.
it was like I was so
I was
happy.
like, go get him. You need multiple devices. The only ways I that I know anyone was able to get tickets were on their iPad. So just saying.
So yeah, like I always tell people, like I was very confused with the whole like people didn't get their own ticket and all the stuff because I got mine even an hour plus later.
Oh no, I was
So
helping people. It was
it
impossible.
but it was hard. It was like Hunger Games. So I'm just very thankful that I got the VIP. I mean, I I I got the GA first, right?
Right.
When I was secure with that one because I tried like 2 or 3 times to get the VIP, and isn't letting me do it. And I was like, everybody's
Mhm.
trying to get VIP. Let me go get a general admission.
Yeah.
If I have that in my pocket, at least I know that I'm going and I'm fine.
Exactly.
So I secured that and I went back to do VIP. And after like an hour trying, I got it. Obviously, I sold that GA like in within 10 minutes because I sold it for the
Easy.
same amount that I bought it. I didn't want to make any
Yeah.
money extra out of it. I just wanted to get rid of it, you know?
You weren't a jerk
Um,
about it, which is how you do it. Like, I understand if people want to make money, but
yeah.
selling
If
those for
he
$10,000, get out of here and go
out,
home.
yeah, yeah, like go home,
Stick.
like
You're not going to
literally.
get anything for that.
So, I'm excited for BravoCon. Like I can talk about it all day long because I have planned
Yeah.
this like from like last year. Like
We've been
literally
talking about it for almost a year.
yeah, as soon BravoCon 2022 ended, my mind went into BravoCon 2023 immediately. I was like, as soon as this goes live and on sale, I want to be there. That's why we booked our hotels even before it was announced,
Yeah.
because we were ready, and I'm excited that we are gonna experience this together. We have so many plans. Oh my gosh,
Oh my God.
BCBs.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be, oh my God. I am claiming, even though it's also Paige DeSarbo's birthday weekend, I am claiming it as my birthday weekend because last
That's right.
year, my 34th birthday, my son and I had RSV and I was dying. Like I'm gonna knock on wood again. Knock, knock, knock. I am always healthy. And so it was like miserable. And I haven't celebrated my birthday in 3 years. So I'm like, I'm going ham. I got a ridiculous birthday dress. I did all of it. I'm gonna be Stassi crying on a curb saying, "It's my birthday."
Yes.
So that's the way it's gonna be. And we're going to BravoCon after dark. We're doing all the things. My Saturday, I am. Ooh, it's gonna be big. Are you most excited for BravoCon after dark? Or I'm sure you're most excited for the Bravos. I could not afford to buy another ticket. I couldn't get the
I
Bravos.
am excited for the Bravos.
Yeah.
Very excited. I like the Bravos because it's when every single Bravo lab is gonna be on the same route. Like it's gonna be the Watch What Happened Live where everybody's like in the same place. Um, it's it was Legends Ball last year, and that was to me one of the best events of the whole entire weekend. So I didn't want to miss it. I'm excited for After Dark, obviously, because based on what we know that is what is going to happen, it's going to be a really fun night, and people are
Mm-hmm.
gonna be really interacting with like the Bravo Labs in a very like fun environment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's gonna be
Um,
good.
oh, so good. And obviously we have Watch What Happen Live. We have Charming House Rules.
The reading room. I'm going to the reading room.
I'm going to Showgirls on Sunday actually, which is the
Good. I'm
earliest
glad we're
one.
not going to only the same stuff because then you can tell me how that was. I want to hear
Exactly.
what happened there.
And you can send me your tea from the one that you're going to as well.
Yes, it's the last one of the whole weekend, so I'm like,
I know.
they're gonna be
It's
hungover, ready to go.
yeah, yeah, I have a different plan for this year though, because last year what I did was like I just burned myself like down to the ground
Yeah.
because I arrived Thursday night to my hotel because I was staying in a hotel in New York City. Um, and I only slept like hour or 2 hours a night since I was there
I'm
because
anxious about that.
I literally went from one party to another one, went to the hotel, slept, and my mission and goal was to be at the door of the convention center when it opened. Like as soon as they open, like every morning, no matter what. Big mistake because I was like, okay,
Was
this is
that
the
even
first.
worth doing?
It was for like the first time of being this big. It was the first time that BravoCon was like ginormous in a big center. So it was kind of like the excitement the first time. This time, I'm gonna take my time in the morning. If I miss a
A
panel or
panel,
two, who
yeah.
cares? But I'm
Yeah.
gonna enjoy my time in Vegas. I'm gonna take my time. We can do the drips in the morning. Take our
Yeah.
time till I wake up and all this stuff. So yeah. Um, there is a question about, I'm guessing this is about the Vanity Fair
Right.
article, right? Are you worried about the article coming out about Bravo? Um, I, I, I honestly am not worried because if there is skeletons in the closet in that company, I mean, obviously it needs to be addressed. Uh, do I think people need to listen to those experiences? Yes. Uh, I hope it's not just Bethany Frankel's talking points because even though she's trying to open the eyes of the company, I think her approach is so unauthentic because she's been part of the problem for a very long time. And I like Bethany for a very long time too. I like her as a businesswoman. I like her, but do I think she had the most like perfect ethic work? No, because we had seen what people who had worked for her in the past had said about her and her treatment and her contracts being very problematic. So
Yeah.
like I want to hear people experiences when it comes to like, hey, I had a bad experience with the production, or production saying, hey, I had a bad experience with a talent. That I want to hear
Right.
because it happened. It not only happens at Bravo, it happens everywhere, and
Absolutely.
not just in the entertainment business, in any business.
Yep.
Like that happens all the time. So, am I concerned? Like worry? I just hope that it doesn't um make it hard for other people who wants to be in the reality world to get there because um I don't know what Bravo is gonna do to make things differently. That's my question.
Okay.
uh
So,
I
I'll just give a brief thought on this. And from what I hear, Bethany did not spearhead this. Vanity Fair was already making the article, and then Bethany heard about it and hopped on.
Of
So
course.
that's yeah. Aside from that, should reality TV stars be unionized, which is really the biggest question I
Yes.
think at the end of it. Excuse me. And yes, they deserve to be unionized. What I need to express as someone who has been, I've been a member of the Screen Actors Guild for, oh my God, at least 10 years, over a decade, which, strike is still happening.
Mhm.
Um, what it takes to be able to join a union. If you don't know exactly how unions work, especially like for an entertainment union, it's like trying to get a credit card. You can't get credit without credit, but how are you going to get credit without credit? So, the way it works to get into SAG, and this is, and it may sound like I'm going off the path, but I'm not. Unless something has changed recently, there are only about 3 ways. One is to work as a background actor and you work non-union on union productions, and you never know if you're going to get a SAG voucher. It's just kind of, "Oh, yeah, you get to work on the SAG voucher." So then you have to work as non-union, lower rate. You never know. Um, if you're getting it, and you have to have 3 of those in order to be what's called SAG eligible. Then another way is to get what's called the Taft-Hartley. That's how I was able to join the union. That's where you are either given a line, you book a role, or you fill like a specific need in the production on the talent side, that they're like, basically production says, this person was so exactly what we needed for the role that we are willing to pay the fee for the non-union talent to be a union talent for the state. So we're going to pay them more than what they actually have to be paid. And a Taft-Hartley, again, it just makes you eligible. You still have to pay a large sum. I don't know how much it is to join now, but you still have to pay a large sum in order to join the union. And then you have to pay your dues depending on how much you made in the year. The more money you make, the more money you owe to your union, just like with taxes. And then the other way is like a new media contract. This whole point, reality TV stars are the ones that are discovered from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They are the ones that are absolutely that non-union talent. And they would have to be a part of the union to join. That's the only thing that they are going to have to address, is what it's like to join the reality TV union. Because if they're going to be a part of SAG, that changes everything. Because it is so not as easy as everyone thinks to just be a Screen Actors Guild member. Yes, it's like 6 figures close to of members. But when you think about how many actors there are in the United States, that's a low number. It's not that easy to join. And when you're in the union, you cannot work non-union jobs. You will be kicked out of the union. And once you're kicked out of the union, you can never rejoin the union. The only other way to do all of that is to do something like what Alec Baldwin, George Clooney is this, oh my God, his name, John Voight, Eric Roberts. They are what's called FICOR. So they are technically union, but they are also able to work non-union jobs. But because they're not a part of the union, they don't receive residuals. I think reality TV stars should absolutely receive residuals every single time their show plays. Yes, even if it's the $20 that gets sent to their agent, yes, those reruns they should be paid for. But what happens on non-union sets are things like what happened on the movie Alec Baldwin was on. They didn't have the union standards for the armor, who was apparently drinking and smoking weed and all of that in a mere less than 12 hours before being on set, handling guns and a bullet. A live round was in that gun. So that was a big, long spiel. But the point is, if they're going to be a part of SAG, it will change everything. They need to have their own union that's separate, because SAG, it has to be separated. It has to. It just would make it very difficult to discover talent, which is what reality TV is all about. But they need to have their rights. So Bethany doesn't know any of that. She tried to be an actor who hasn't at this point. No judgment there. But I'm sure Bethany's in SAG now, I guess. But I don't even think she knows what she's talking about. So I'm sorry. It just drives me nuts. So there's that very long-winded answer, but that's me trying to give you the education and information on what that means, forming a union, and why it needs to be a specific branch or treated completely differently than the way the Screen Actors Guild is. So
yeah, and I also feel like Bravo has been implementing their own changes as we speak. Like,
agreed.
I'm pretty sure they had felt all the pressure from like articles that are coming out, experience from Housewife and Bravo Talent, Bravo Productions. So they've been changing rules little by little. Like, we saw the first example when Jennifer Aiden and Danielle Cabral got into a physical altercation, that they put them immediately, both of them, on pause until investigations were finished and stuff like that. So there are changes being made already. The problem is that it's hard to unify a group of people into one and the same thing, because when it comes to reality TV, if it's expected to be reality TV as it is, which is supposed to be each person's reality on TV, it's hard to kind of have them all have the same experience. Some people are gonna feel in some kind of way. Some people are gonna feel that they've been pushed by production to do some stuff. Some people are gonna feel like their experience was so easy and breezy that they don't understand why they're complaining. Like Dorinda came out whenever Bethany was like t- starting to talk about this. Dorinda was like, "Hey, I don't know what she's talking about. I had a great experience with Bravo." Um, so yeah, I think I'm going to uh, wait until the article comes out and we can actually talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
Caitlin, we should have a podcast
Yeah.
when the article comes out. We read it and we talk about it
We have to
because
see
I would
what
like
we have to
that.
see it. Mm-hmm.
I think
Absolutely.
I think it's a great topic to cover when the Vanity Fair article is out. And Aaron, if you are here, we'll make sure to let you know so you can comment and also leave your opinion. Because I'm pretty sure you're gonna read it because um, you were the one who had the questions. You're probably also interested to know what this article is gonna be all about. Uh, Caitlin, before we go, what do you want to say to our besties and anything that you want to share with everybody or anything you want to
Yeah.
promote? This is your time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go check out my podcast. It's Besties by Bravo. Those are the name of all the social media accounts. I'm on Apple, Spotify, like YouTube. Subscribe YouTube. Subscribe to this YouTube channel as well, MarTEAnis with Eddie. And be sure and check out our social media channels whenever we're going to be in BravoCon. We're obviously going to be posting a lot. We're going to try and do some uh, collaborations while we're there. It's kind of up in the air just because we have to see how we're doing. But yeah, Besties by Bravo. And go listen, subscribe, like, leave all the cute
Yeah,
reviews.
we are definitely gonna do it live on Instagram or Twitter while we are
TikTok.
on uh on BravoCon. It's chaotic, it's hectic, but we want to make sure that we give you guys a little taste of Vegas and BravoCon. So
Yeah.
we will do some kind of collaboration and stuff. We will figure it out. We just gotta figure out technology
Yeah.
as we are
God,
traveling.
it's gonna be wild. Yeah.
Okay, besties. So thank you for joining us tonight, and don't forget to, like Caitlin said, to follow all our social medias. You can follow her on Bestie by Bravo. You can follow me on Martini with Eddie across the platforms. My Instagram, my YouTube channel, my podcast can be all found as Martini with Eddie. Uh, this is almost the last episode of the season. Like I was telling Kaylin, my podcast was created right after BravoCon. It was born because of BravoCon. So I'm going to record one more podcast next week, and then I'm gonna take a little week and a half vacation, which is BravoCon, to get you all the information and all the tea, and then we will premiere season 2 of Martina with Eddie with all the tea from BravoCon, and hopefully Caitlin can join me because we're gonna be experiencing it together.
Yes, I will be honored to join. And I just thank you so much for having me tonight. It's going to be a really wonderful time.
Okay, besties, and like you always know that at the end of my show, we always say together, 1, 2, 3. Bye,
Bye, besties.
besties.